is a kit that we highly recommend. $74 at Barnes & Nobles, and it comes as a kit. So in our group, like I have a certain amount of cadre here to help me today. What we do is get a cadre, just like a school does. A teacher of science and a teacher of math and so on. When the boys is not here, likes to, he's going to be a petroleum engineer, he says. But anyway, he puts together all of our kits. So he's what we call our maker. So it's up to him to put them together. That's a robot. And here's one of those kits. Okay? So from the standpoint of robot to most of us means something on wheels. It doesn't necessarily have to, but anyway. Here's a sensor here to read something. Okay? Read the lines. This is a sensor here for ultrasonic. If this looks at you, it's sending out sound wave, coming back, and then I can say, I want you to turn around when you get a foot from her. Okay? You can actually have them do what we call facial recognition or fingerprints. They'll read fingerprints depending on the programmer and so on. So anyway, this will put together. Now we have lights that are different. These are called LED lights. So now our whole world is going to change thanks to LED lights over fluorescent, over fluorescent tungsten. So anyway, yeah. We put that down and hopefully, yeah, it'll do it. So here's your buttons here. If you want to go forward. Not doing it. Let me get the other one. Hold it. Wait, let's do what Roy recommended. Let's start this way. We'll see if these work. Most of you have learned about Murphy's Law, right? If something's going to go wrong, it goes wrong. Okay. The other that we don't learn about, I think that's very important to anybody decision making, is the law of unintended consequences. Anybody knows what that means? Every decision you make will have consequences somewhere down the line. So you better management-wise train yourself to think about them as much as possible. I just learned that one the last few years. So let's see if he'll do what he's supposed to do. Not. Okay, this is where the programming comes in. Let me turn this one off. Put the other one down. And I did get to a certain extent, somebody recommended it today, but I didn't get that far with the project. Make sure I number the things and the remote. Let's see what it does. So that's control. That's remote control. Okay, we're telling it by the number system, 1 and 0s, for example, on and off. We want motor right to go forward. We want motor left to go reverse. And we program it with a scratch language. I bring it in and say, right motor this. So when I press A, B, or C, it does what I tell it to do. Then if I push B, it's supposed to avoid obstructions. It comes up and it won't hit you. Okay? The newest one out, it's not on the market yet, will not let it fall off the table. Okay. So anyway, there. The third one is to follow a track. We had it following a track earlier, but I'm not going to waste time now. The next one is available also from Barnes & Nobles, and now we get into mini world. If anybody, has anybody here ever soldered?
Solder?
Solder.
Oh, yeah.
You know what solder is?
It's a solder thing?
Yeah, solder is something when you make to hold two wires together. I did it when I was a kid with my bicycle. Take two wires and put them together, then solder them so they don't come apart. So almost everything we have, your TV, your oven, your dishwasher, everything in there is soldered. So this is the micro world I'm telling you about. If you can imagine how little your solder is for here. So now, the world that we grew up in of soldering with a soldering iron is no longer what makes something like this. So now we have a world called micro solder. And also, the LEDs are micro LEDs. You can't even see them, okay? They're so small. And there, we had this work in the Conference Code Library, but my grandson did it, and he's not here today. But anyway, this is how you program there. You program that to follow a red line, a green line, or a blue line. And then that tells the robot what to do. If you want it to go faster, if you want it to turn around, you put a little dash of green there. And if you want it to do a dance, you might put a little dash of red there, and then it goes back, and then it comes somewhere, and it's got to make a decision. I don't want to go off the table, I want to turn around and come back. So anyway, all that has to be programmed by somebody with skills. So that's the world of robotics. Any questions? Okay. And I say these are relatively cheap. This one is more for elementary school, and this sells for $49. So $50 you can get into that. That one doesn't do a lot of programming or tape programming. The Raspberry Pi and the Arduino do, and you can make it do whatever you want it to do. Here, by the way, I just brought this. This is a free booklet if you want to get online and download it. It's called N-Block, and the company that does this is called N-Block. That's an N-Bot, and so on. And it's got the program, the scratch, and what it will do. Let's say the last exercise here. It's a success flow. So it's going to go down the road and do what you want it to do, which usually means it's going to turn around and come back or something. Where are we at in time? 6 o'clock. 3D printing. We were asked to bring this 3D printer here. It's really not a 3D printer, but it is a 3D printer. But, and it shows you how things progress. I'll pass these around.